I'm here with author and designer Kate Richbourg, and Kate is known for her metalwork, and she's created this wonderful sampler of techniques. And once you work your way through the different techniques, you'll be able to make almost anything, right, Kate?
That's right.
And today we are going to learn how to attach a jump ring, solder the jump ring.
That's right. That's one of the questions I get most often from my students is, how do I solder a jump ring?
Well, it's so practical.
And it's so easy, and I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to start actually by making the jump ring.
So is this sterling wire?
It is sterling silver wire. Again, I could use any jewelry metal, but the sterling silver is nice to work with. And then I go ahead and I create that, this is 18 gauge wire that I have here. Again, you could use any gauge. But I go ahead and I make a little coil of rings. And I can use the small barrel of my wrap and tap plier. I could use a mandrel, a knitting needle, anything that I want to wrap that wire around. Then I go ahead and I want to use a flush cutter to cut the rings. So I'm going to grab my coil. I'm going to use the flush side of the cutter, and I'm just going to make a little cut here, nice and even across, like so. Now, you need to make sure to flip the cutter so that the flush side of the cutter is towards the usable side of the ring.
So your two flush ends fit really nicely together.
Exactly, and that's one of the golden rules of soldering, is that you have to have two completely flush sides so they come together so there's no gap in between them.
Okay.
Now let's attach the ring to the little tile here. I'm going to take my jump ring, put it through the hole that I've made in the tile, and I'm going to use two pliers to close this up. I'm going to use just this flat nose plier and my chain nose plier. And I'm going to come in and just go ahead and work that little ring back and forth. And as I work that ring back and forth, it work hardens the opposite side of the ring.
So you're making it nice and strong.
Exactly. And I bring that together nice and flush. There's no gap in there.
Great.
So now, one of the tips I like to give, one of the secrets to getting a perfectly soldered jump ring, is I like to come in and see how I have this little divot that I've made in my kiln brick?
And this is your kiln brick that will protect your work surface.
Exactly. That's my soldering surface, is my kiln brick. And I lay the tile so it's sitting up in that little divot, and that makes my jump ring sit flat.
So handy.
So handy, and it makes it nice and easy to solder that ring. Now I'm going to use easy paste solder, and the paste solder, the easy solder flows very quickly, very easily, and this paste solder already has flux in it.
And it's durable enough for this type of connection.
Exactly. I'm just going to put a little piece right on there, and I'm using, this is about the size of a size 11 seed bead.
That's the amount that you want to get.
Exactly, that I want to get on there. Sometimes it's a little stubborn, but you're the boss of that solder, so you just tell the solder where to go. There we go.
There, you got it.
And it's right on the join.
Okay.
So now let's fire up the torch, but before we do,
safety first.
Let's put on those safety glasses.
Got it.
And I'm using a butane torch, just a butane micro torch. Very easy and safe to use. We want to make sure that we're using it in a well-ventilated area and that we have a fire extinguisher nearby.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. And I'm just going to ignore the tile and focus my flame on that jump ring.
I'm just going to turn this so we can see it a little bit.
Sure. I'm going to follow you with that torch. There we go.
Oh, let's go the other way.
Okay.
How about that?
Perfect, and I can see it too.
Okay, good.
Excellent. So let's get down in there with the torch. And I slowly introduce the flame of the torch, and I'm getting a little closer. You're going to see that flux smoke a little bit from the solder, but that's no big deal. And you can see it's starting to get cherry red. And see, there we go. The solder's flowed like a little piece of liquid mercury.
And then we quench this?
We go ahead and quench it and pickle it in with pickle or your cleaning method of choice.
And then you're done.
And you're done.
You're ready for a pendant. This is so
soldered
great.
jump ring.
Oh, thank you so much, Kate.
My pleasure.